The next law is what is called the law of expectations. Now, the law of expectations is the law that has been talked about throughout all of human history. Just like in the law of belief, William James of Harvard said, belief creates the actual fact. As a man thinketh in his heart, or as he believeth, so is he. The law of expectations over and over said, what you expect, you get. You get not what you want, but what you expect. That your expectations, especially your expectations about outcomes, how you think things are going to turn out, become your own self-fulfilling prophecies. And Dr. Robert Rosenthal of Harvard University has done something like 300 experiments on expectations theory, on what is called experimenter theory, and he finds that your expectations have an effect on other people and events and circumstances, even if your expectations are based on totally false information. Whatever you expect with confidence, in other words, if you confidently expect good things to happen, surprise, surprise, good things happen to you. If you confidently expect negative things to happen, then negative things are going to happen to you. That most successful people have developed an attitude of confidently expecting good things to happen. It's called the attitude of positive self-expectancy. It is the attitude of the winner. The winner looks for good things to happen. The winner expects to win in advance, and lo and behold, whatever you expect with confidence tends to come true, even if the information upon which your expectations is based is totally false. Now, let me give you an example of expectations. Some years ago, Dr. Rosenthal, after conducting a variety of different experiments, came to the conclusion that the expectations that teachers had of students was having a tremendous effect on their ability to learn and their grade level averages. So he put together a series of experiments, and then one major experiment, which was tremendous. He went to the San Francisco Bay Area, and at the beginning of the school year, he had the principal call in 3 teachers. The 3 teachers were told that by the principal, as a result of teaching excellence, they had been singled out as the 3 best teachers in the school, and that they were going to be given 30 students each of the brightest students in the school, identified by IQ tests at the end of the last semester. They would be able to teach these students for the entire year, and it was estimated by experts that these students would jump in scholastic achievement an average of 20 to 30% over the course of that school year. Now, the teachers were told that one of the conditions was that they mustn't tell the teachers, they mustn't tell the students, and they mustn't tell their parents. They must continue to teach the same way, and classes were carefully monitored to make sure that they taught the same way they taught before, but only they would know that they had been given 30 bright students each to teach for the whole year. The teachers were delighted. The teachers went out. They were excited about this. They worked hard with those students. They spent time after school with them. They got really, really involved in teaching more than they ever had before. And at the end of the school year, lo and behold, those 3 classes led not only the school, but the entire school district in academic accomplishment. At the end of the year, they called the 3 teachers in. They sat them down and they said, well, you've had a good year. And they said, yes, well, it was great. Those kids were so bright. They were so eager to learn. They said, well, maybe we should tell you the truth, that this was an experiment. And the fact is that the beginning of the school year, we selected the names of 90 children by lottery from the school population at large and assigned them to your class. We didn't even know what their IQs were. They said, well, that's remarkable. Well, how could it have happened that they did so well? And then they looked at each other and said, well, of course, it's because we are the 3 most excellent teachers in this school. They said, well, the other side of it was simply this, is at the beginning of the school year, we put all the teachers' names in a hat, and yours were the first 3 names that were drawn. So this is what is called a double-blind experiment. They held constant for everything but expectations. Now, the expectations on the teachers were explicit. We believe that you are excellent teachers. The expectations of the teachers on the students were implicit. They were never spoken. The teachers just treated those students as though they were really intelligent, and the students bloomed and blossomed. And in one of the classes, a student from beginning of the year to the end of the year jumped 25 IQ points. In a subsequent experiment, a student jumped as much as 27 IQ points, which is to prove that high expectations teachers bring out intelligence in students that is completely unheard of. Marva Collins, the famous teacher in the Chicago inner city, has found that if you treat students as though they're intelligent and talk to them and work with them as though they are really bright, they will absolutely astonish you in terms of academic accomplishment. All right, this brings us to the critical role of expectations in your life. First part of expectations in your life, number 1, and where expectations affect you. Expectations of your parents. We have found that we have a tendency as adults to try to live up to or down to the expectation of our parents all our lives. If our parents were strong and supportive and loving and kind and encouraging and really believed in us, all our lives we will strive unconsciously to live a life consistent with those expectations. If our parents were critical and condemnatory and bitched and complained and griped about our grades and so on and so forth, we will find that all of our life we'll have a tendency to hold ourselves back. So be alert to that. What were the expectations of your parents? Were they positive? Were they negative? Were they boosting or were they discouraging? And how much are they affecting you today? Second area of expectations is the expectations of your boss. In all of our studies, we have found, especially in the studies on excellence in organizations, we have found that high expectations, bosses have high performance work environments. Now, if you work for a boss who's negative, critical, and condemnatory, if you work for a boss that has negative expectations or a negative attitude, chances are your performance will be at the very lowest. As a matter of fact, if you look at the course of your working career, you'll find that the times of your life that you've enjoyed the most is working under a boss that has high positive expectations of you and your ability. Isn't that correct? The third area of expectations is the expectations you have of others, especially of your children, especially of your spouse or your mate, especially of your subordinates or the people who look up to you. You see, we are profoundly affected by the opinions of anybody we respect, by the attitudes toward us of anybody we respect. And if you have high positive expectations of the people around you, especially your children, they will rise to fulfill those expectations. So the basic rule with regard to this is always expect good things of other people. In word and deed, tell them continually, I believe in you.